Hi, welcome to the YMCA. My name is Lori. Our class today will be a cardio light class. All you'll need will be a chair and your body weight. Make sure that you have an area that is clear so that it's safe for you to move. You will be able to go at whatever pace you like. Feel free to make it easier or harder as I offer modifications. And make sure that you have some water nearby. We're going to get started seated first today. So in your chair, you can sit close to the back if you need support for your lower back, or you can slide forward away from the back of the chair. Sitting up nice and tall either way, engaging that core, and let's feel that body working and those abs pulled in, those shoulders back. Let's just roll those shoulders. You can let those arms hang down, get a full circle, loosening up that neck, muscles in that upper back. And then let's add an arm circle, and then an arm circle the other way. Turn your palm and face it out. Turn your body. So you're feeling that chest rotate, a little bit of spinal rotation there. Taking some nice deep breaths, just loosening up that body, getting ready for some work today. One more each side. And release that down. And now let's do some arm swings up and down, palms facing each other. Still loosening up that upper body. Thinking about that belly, nice breath. Breathing in and out. Trying to relax that body a little bit, let everything move the way it's supposed to. And then let's bring those arms out to the side, and let's just do some hug and open. Hug and open. So as you're moving that in, let's alternate the arm that's on top. It's going to feel more normal, one arm on top than the other, but let's switch them each time. Opening up those arms and that chest each time. Perfect. We got a couple more of these. Last one. And all the way down. Now let's move those legs a little bit. Let's start with just some marches. Getting those legs moving. So thinking about those hip flexors and the top of those thighs. So you're working those legs. And now let's move it into an extension. So you're straightening the leg out and pushing that heel towards the wall in front of you and feeling that length in the back of your legs. So we're stretching out those hamstrings. They get really tight when we do a lot of sitting. So this is a good way to stretch them out without ever standing up. Good. Now we're going to go back to your marches and we're going to add some arms. Just some rotation here, warming everything up. So think about that little bit of a twist in the spine if your body allows, trying to rotate that chest side to side. Remember, you go as fast or as slow as you need to. And now we're going to extend the legs like we did before and extend the arms. Good. So reaching towards that toe, extending that leg nice and straight. Finishing up with our seated warm-up. We're going to do a couple of stretches, and then we're going to move to a standing pose today. We're going to work on some balance. And all the way down. Last one. Good. Let's put that right leg out in front. Let's pull that toe back towards the knee, and let's just hinge forward with a nice straight spine. Pulling that toe back is going to give you that length to get a nice stretch. So let's keep the lower back nice and long instead of rounding it. And let's release that leg. Switch legs. Push the heel to the floor. Pull the toe back towards the knee and hinge forward. Taking a nice breath. So anytime you're doing your stretches, If you go through 3 to 5 breaths, that should give you enough time to get a really good stretch. Want to do a little more stretching at the end of your workout than at the beginning. Usually you'll get a little better benefit from that. And release that out. Now let's cross the right ankle over the knee, if your body allows. And just take your hand and push on the inner thigh there and feel that stretch in the outside of your hip. If this bothers you or you're not able to get that ankle across that knee, you can put it across your ankle and just push down and get the same stretch, just not as invasive as the other one. So once you finish with that stretch, release the push and let's just lean forward again like we did earlier. So by just leaning forward, you're going to get a good stretch in the outside of that hip. And remember again, taking a few breaths, not holding your breath through a stretch, but breathing through that stretch is going to give you a much better benefit. We're going to release that. Let's uncross that leg. We're going to cross the other leg over. Push into the inside of that thigh there and feel that stretch. Being careful not to push on your actual joint, but just below that to get the stretch. Crossing it at the ankle if that's what you need to do. And release the push. And now let's just lean forward to get a stretch. So you're going to feel both of those a little differently. This one you're going to feel a little bit of lower back stretch, but it shouldn't be work because I still want you to zip up that core and still lift that chest tall. Just hinging slightly from the hips. All right, so now we're going to release that, uncross it. Let's put both elbows on your knees like we're going to have a little chat here. And just feel that stretch in your lower back. So once you get down here, I want you to just kind of push your hips back towards the chair and feel that lower back round out and feel that stretch. And then release that push. And then once again, you're kind of pushing your hips back into the chair, but keeping your elbows on the knees and using those elbows as a fulcrum to get a deeper stretch. Take a breath. And release. Let's push that shoulder to the opposite knee and feel that stretch on the lower side of that lower back. And let's switch to the other shoulder, pushing it towards the opposite knee and bringing it back up. Okay, we're going to move into our standing work now. So you can have your chair so that you can use the back of it for balance as you need to. If you want your dumbbells, you can use those in a few minutes. We are going to start with some standing weight shift work. So what you're going to do is you're going to shift your weight from your right to your left, but you're going to keep your left leg right where it is. So it's going to be a right leg forward in front of your left foot, right foot behind, right foot forward, right foot back. So you are just shifting the weight. So it's right foot shift, left foot, right foot. So we'll want you to take a big enough step so that you actually can shift the weight. And it's okay that that heel and that toe comes up on the stationary foot. But that foot stays planted. Okay, so adding in some cardio to that is starting to make it work a little harder. We're going to add some arm work. So the arms come up and the arms go back. Arms up and back. Now, if you want to add weight or you want to do a little bit of upper work today, or you just want to make it a little harder, it's going to get your heart rate up a little more, you can add those dumbbells. Still working that same leg. And now we're going to go overhead and then back down. Overhead is going to get that heart rate up even more. So if that's too much for you, keep the arms below the shoulders. So even if you add the weights, I still want you shifting the weight. No taps. We're not tapping right now. We are shifting that weight. Feeling that work. Okay, now we're going to do a stationary one. You're going to bring that right foot forward, and you've got those legs staggered. So there's some space between your feet, and your feet are like railroad tracks. So they're not in a straight line. They're just like they would be if you were walking. So holding that pose, softening your knees, we're going to do some lateral lifts. So if you want to use your chair or need to use your chair, then you would have one arm on the chair. And again, we can do this with or without our weights. Because the weight of your arms, if you really squeeze those shoulders as you're coming up, squeeze, release. You're going to be feeling that work going on. Excellent. So now we're going to hold those arms out. We're going to turn those palms up, and we're going to go overhead. That's going to challenge your balance even more because your arms are overhead. So if that's too much, use the chair and one arm, or go back below the shoulders. So starting to feel that work. So sink down into those legs and make sure that you've got weight on both feet. So what you're going to feel is sometimes you're sitting in that back leg and your back leg is working really, really hard. If you'll shift your weight between the 2 feet, it'll make it easier. You'll be able to last a little longer. Lots of work going on here. Heart rate should be going up a little bit even though you're not moving. Nice job. Let's go 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Bring those arms down. Bring that foot back. Now you're going to switch. Left foot forward, left foot back. Same thing we were doing before without the arms. If you're using the chair, you might want to turn around and face the other way. That way you can do the arm work on the other arm this time. So remember that stationary foot can still lift the heel and the toe, but you're not completely taking it off of the floor. Good. We don't take big steps. We're going to forget how. Then when we have to take a big step down a curb or somewhere that's not our normal pace or our normal step, we're going to trip and fall, or we're not going to be strong enough. So this is working on that balance. Arms come up as the leg goes forward. Arms up and back. Remember here you can add your weights if you like. Good. Working that weight shift, feeling the weight shift, right leg, right leg. And now if you can, arms go overhead, back down. Overhead, back down. You can come all the way down by your thighs, or you can keep them over in front of the chest. That's going to make it a little harder. You're not going to get as much rest. So do whatever works for you. Still working that weight shift. Still holding it. Heart rate should be going up here. If it's too much, drop the arms. Just do the legs. Got a few more here, and then we're going to hold that leg forward. Last one. Let's hold that leg forward. Drop those arms. Soften those legs. Working that balance. Arms go out to the side. So think about squeezing your shoulder before you ever lift. Squeeze right here on top. Squeeze. Your arms should not be coming higher. Your hands should not be coming higher than your shoulders. Here we go, looking good. So you start to feel that work in the one leg or the other. Remember to shift your weight kind of to the center of the feet. So you're working both legs at the same time. Here we go. Those arms come up, palms face up, overhead, and back down. Overhead, and back down. Nice. Bringing those arms up by your ears if you can. Heart rate up here. Starting to work a little harder. You got this. Hang on. All right, let's go for 4 more. Last 4 minutes, a long time. 3, 2, and 1. All the way down. Woo! All right, so feel that work. Let's lift those heels up, pedal those feet out, and then let's do a little weight shift. This is a way to loosen up those hips when they're getting tight, and those hips are tight. It's going to make that back tight. So loosening up those hips is a good thing. So let's do some circles with the hips. Circles with the hips, good. And now let's reverse that circle. All right. We have another standing exercise, and then we're going to move back to the chair. So you're going to go back to the position beside your chair. You're going to step back into that back leg, and then you're going to lift that knee up and hold. Back, lift and hold. Back, lift and hold. So I want you to actually put that back foot on the floor. So again, we're working the weight shift, and then we're working the balance. So if you have your dumbbells, you can do some curls, Or if you don't, you can just pretend you're curling those weights up and make a conscious effort to squeeze that bicep as you lift. Nice. That's good. All right, so it should be getting a little harder. If you want to change it and make it even harder, you can bring those hands to your shoulders, and then you can press them overhead. Down and press overhead. Down and press overhead. Looking good, looking good. Hang on. Only got about 10 more seconds here on this leg. Pushing it up. Remember, you can lose the arms and just work on the legs. Here comes your last one. And all the way down. We're going to switch to that left leg. Remember, if you need to use the chair, you need to turn around. That way you can switch arms. Here we go. Step behind, knee lift up. Step behind, knee lift up. Step behind, knee lift up. Remember, on that knee lift up, you want to hold it for a second. Feel the balance. Be in control before you lower. I don't want you to lift and fall back down. Knee up tall. Think about that core. If your back's getting fatigued, you might need to take a break. If you have those dumbbells, now is when you can use them. Or you can just do that bicep curl by squeezing those fists a little bit. Squeezing that bicep. Good. Now if you want to add to it, make it a little harder. The hands stay at the shoulders and you press it overhead. Down, press it overhead. Down, press it overhead. You're on the back side. About 10 more seconds. Keep going. Control that knee up there. Balance before you go back down. Hang on. Last one. And down. Good job. Should have gotten that heart rate up a little bit there. That one should have been your hardest one so far today. Moving those hips side to side. And let's do those circles again. Hip circles. And let's reverse those circles and go the other way. We're almost there. You're all halfway through. Looking good. All right, so let's stretch. Let's release that. We're going to go back to our chair. So let's have a seat back in your chair. We're going to work on a little bit of ab work. So sitting up nice and tall, you're going to bring your hands on your shoulders, and you're going to go across towards that opposite knee. I want you to just go to one side first. Feel that twist. Pull that belly in nice and tight, and let that core work. If your knee gets tired or your hip gets tired here, you can just keep the leg down and crunch across. Just still focusing on the abs. You'll just go a little more forward. Now we're going to switch to the other leg. Ready? Across and down. Across and down. So think about that twist and also a little bit of a lean forward so it's like a seated crunch. So you can work those abs without ever getting on that floor. Pull that belly in, push that leg across, push that arm across. All right, now here we go. We're going to alternate those legs. Same thing. You're just going to switch each time. Switch each time. Good. Switch. Switch. Remember to take a break when you need it. Grab some water. Should be able to talk at all times, not getting too winded. You can slow it down or speed it up as you need to. Now we're going to a toe tap or a reach for the toe, and you're extending the leg. So now you're kicking it all the way long, all the way long. This is our longest set so far. Pushing that endurance a little bit now. Keep reaching long. Keep turning a little bit with that body. Feel that twist. Pulling those abs in nice and tight. Push that heel out towards the wall in front of you. You got this. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And down. Good. All right, so now we're going to work that waistline a little bit. I'm going to try to reach down to the side. So you're going to put your left hand behind your head and your right hand over here, and you're going to reach over and back up. So we're working that waist. So pull the belly in as you're going over, and you're staying parallel. So for this one, we're not leaning forward, we're just leaning to the side. If it bothers your waist or it's a little bit too much for your lower back, you can try dropping the other hand, because that arm up there is going to add a little bit of weight. It's going to make it a little harder. And we're going to come up and switch legs, switch arms, put the other arm behind your head, drop that one, and let's lean over and back. Oh, just pretend there's something over there you want to pick up. Reaching over. Functional moves, things we do every day. Just working on staying strong. Still leaning over. Remember to zip up that core. Nice. 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent job. Bring it down. All right. We're going to do some hip openers now. So you're going to lift that knee up and back in. Up and back in. These are your ones like you're stepping over the dog or getting out of the car. Excellent. So feeling that hip working right here, but also bracing through your core to help that hip. And now you're going to switch to the other leg, and it's up and over. Notice if one leg is a little harder than the other one. So that might be one you need to spend a little bit of extra time strengthening when you're working out. Lifting that knee nice and tall, sitting up nice and tall. Taking that break when you need it. We're going to move to an alternating on this one. If you're getting tired, this might be your time to take a break. We're going to alternate. It's going to be right, back in, and left. And now if you can do the arm out with the legs. So we're going to start to get that heart rate up. Arm out, back in. Arm out, back in. Arm and leg, both of them. If you need to switch to just arms or just the legs, you do that. Using that arm is going to get that heart rate up a little bit. Hang on, you got 10 more seconds, and then we're going to move into some sitting and standing. You got it. Last one here, and all the way down. All right, so I want you to sit so that you're a little closer to the back of your chair, because I don't want you to miss that chair when you sit down. So I want your feet to stay glued to the floor. I don't want you to move them every time or slide them under the chair if at all possible. If you do need to get a little assistance to get up, you can have a stagger stance where one foot's a little behind the other. But let's keep it that way and not move the feet back and forth. I don't want you to sit down and miss the chair because you're moving your feet in and out each time. So here we go. We're going to stand and sit. All the way down, all the way up. Good. So keeping those feet on the floor. If you need something to assist you, you can always put your chair beside something that you can grab to help you come up. Try to sit down without assistance, because that's where you can gain a lot of strength, is on that eccentric when you're sitting down. So trying to sit down slowly will help you gain strength. Okay, we're going to add to this, if you like, you're going to do a knee lift. So you're going to sit, you're going to stand, knee up. Sit, stand, knee up. Once again, working that balance, stand. You can add those arms, or you can keep those arms still. Knee up. Sit, stand, knee up. If you want to use your weights here, you can use your weights. It's really going to make it harder. Listen to your body and go where you need to be. Take a break when you need it. You're on the back side here, looking good. 10 more seconds here. Working that body, getting that heart rate up. This is going to be your last one. We're going to remain standing. Good. Let's go back to that hip shift we did earlier. Take some breaths. Relax that breath. Relax those hips a little bit. Now we're going to do some circles again. Hip circles going around. Feel the lower back. You should feel that get a little stretch. Make that circle go forward and to the back. So make it a full circle. Now let's reverse the circles. Loosening it up. Okay, now we're going to go behind your chair again. Hands on the chair if you need it. We're going to work on some side leg lifts. So I want you to just do the right leg, working your balance. And now once again, if you want to use your dumbbells, you can have those ready. So feeling that work, the stationary leg should be getting tired as well as the one moving. Sometimes the stationary one's a little tighter than the one that's actually moving. Switch legs. Out. Out. So just a small leg lift to the side, trying to keep those feet parallel and really engage in that core and standing up tall. So try not to slouch over that chair. If your chair is not tall enough, find something that's tall enough so you do not have to bend over to use that for your balance. All right, we're going to bring that leg down. We're going to bring the hands to the shoulders, and we're going to alternate the leg lift and add an arm press. If you're using your dumbbells, this is going to make it a little harder. Or you can do it like I'm doing it without the dumbbells. So you should feel a lot of hip work going on here. Heart rate going up when the arms are going over the head. Ten more seconds. Keep working. You got this. Almost there. And all the way down. Good. Back to that weight shift. Loosening up those hips again. Our last one standing is going to be a side-to-side movement. So you're actually going to step out and back in. Step out. So instead of the forward step, we're doing a side step. So if you need the chair, use it. If not, you're going to be right here without the chair. Step out. Step in, step out, step in. So you want to step far enough so you actually have to put weight on that leg again. We're working on that weight shift today. And now if you want to, we can do that side lift with the arm. If you have your dumbbell, take your dumbbell and put your palm facing forward. That opens up that shoulder more, or palm facing up to the ceiling. Feeling that work going on, stepping into that foot every time. Arm going overhead is going to make that heart rate go up. Last one here. We're going to switch to the other leg, no arms. Out and back in. Out and back in. Out and back in. So now if you have your dumbbell or you want to use it, you can grab that. Otherwise, just do the arm movement with the arm. Weight of that arm is still going to get that heart rate up. You're still going to be strengthening those shoulders. Remember to turn that palm up, or at least turning it forward towards me so that you've got a good range of motion in that shoulder. If you've got that palm turned down, it kind of stops that shoulder from getting all the way overhead without damaging it. So remember, we're still stepping on that foot. We got 15 more seconds here. Working hard. This is your last standing set. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Good job. All right, let's do that shift one more time. I want you to really recognize how much that can loosen up your hips and your glutes. So anytime those hips are really tight, it's going to make that lower back tight. So the more you loosen that up, the less lower back pain. So let's do the circles again like the hula hoop here. Full circle. Let your hips go forward. Let them roll back. Let your back arch when they go forward. Reverse your circles. Nice. And back. So let's have a seat again. Going to go back through some stretches. Stretch out some of the areas that we worked on again. So let's bring the arms up. One arm up, reach back, feel that stretch through the shoulder, and bring that arm down, and then push back behind you and feel that rear delt, the back of your shoulder stretch, and bring it down. Switch the arm, other arm goes up, pushing back with your palm facing the side of your head. Nice breath, and bringing that arm down behind you and pushing behind you, feeling the back of the shoulder stretching out. Nice breath. Release that down. Let's put your hands out in front and grab one hand with the other instead of the knuckle thing, which can really hurt if you have arthritis. So just grab one hand with the other, drop your chin to your chest, round it out, and push your hands away from your chest. This time you can round that lower back, feel that upper back round as well. Take some breaths and release. Bring it all the way down. Let's do that cross-legged stretch again. So we're going to cross your ankle over your knee. This time we're going to take that knee and pull it across towards the opposite shoulder. So a little different feel. Feel the outside of that hip, get a really nice stretch. Take a nice deep breath. Using both hands to hold that knee will give you a little more help, and you won't have to work as hard. Try to get your shoulders away from your ears. And let's release, but let's keep that leg crossed. So if your right leg is up, you're going to take your right hand and put it on the side of your chair. You're going to rotate to the right, feeling that chest turn and that spine twist. And then release it back to the center. Let's undo that leg, cross the other leg over, and let's grab that knee with both hands and pull it towards that opposite shoulder. You're going to feel that stretch all through here and up into that lower back. Taking some breaths, trying to get your shoulders away from your ears. Good. One more breath here. And let's release that. Let's put your left hand on the chair and let's turn that chest to the left. And as you exhale, trying to rotate a little further, using that hand on your knee and the hand on the chair as a fulcrum to get you a little more twist. And release. Bring it back to the center. Bring those legs down. Let's straighten out that right leg and let's go into that long stretch we did earlier. Pushing the back of that leg nice and long and pulling that toe back. And release that leg. Switch. Other leg out straight. Your hand goes on the leg that is not straight, so you don't hyperextend that knee by pushing down on that leg. Take some breaths, really pulling that toe back towards that knee so you can feel that stretch. And then release that one again. Let's take a nice deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Out to the ceiling, all the way down, back to the floor. One more time. Inhale. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, exhale at the top. And inhale, exhale at the bottom. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of the day.